Oh, big announcement. Taylor's engaged. Woo!
Yay! Yay!
So I'm gonna celebrate because one of the master testers himself, Mr. Kyle Roof, was on a call with Joy.
Oh yeah.
And said he tested schema and it did jack shit. So
oh, interesting.
Cheers.
There you go.
Cheers. Thanks. Thanks, Kyle.
All right, guys, we are roasting a bookkeeping company today, right?
We are.
Yeah.
And
I briefly looked at it, and I think this might be the excessive amount of F-bombs ever. So we can blame Jordan for this.
We can always blame Jordan for pretty much anything.
all right, guys, let's get right into it. Let's get this going. Where is our?
Press the button.
Hey, GBP Roast, GBP Roast. Sorry, you in danger. Right now, I gotta flame you. This is GBP Roast, GBP Roast. On your Google business profile, it's about to go down. We roasting and reacting. We ain't come to play. 20 years in SEO. JP, Lambo, and Dre, bringing facts and guests. Oh yeah, we bring the dopeness. Welcome to the show. Hope your profile don't get roasted.
Oh yeah. Let's get right into it. Here is the first reaction video for today.
I love the reaction.
Here's a local search trick that you need to be doing.
You're going to go to Google My Business and hit interactions, and then you're going to go down. Here you're going to see search breakdowns and things you're already ranking for.
Yeah.
You can see what you're ranking for and find desirable keywords to use in your content.
So if you're seeing keywords that you want to be ranking for, but you're not getting a lot of search traffic for, try putting those keywords in your updates and make sure you're editing your descriptions so that those keywords are also present.
Well,
and use your Italian hands when you're making a video.
There you go.
You
look Italian, right?
The words that's in the GBP that people are searching for on the page. Come on.
So how do you guys do keyword research? I mean, is that a good way to? I think that's a great way to kind of look and see what you're at least showing up
There's
for, right?
one big issue.
Oh.
It's what you're already known for. It's current, like in the past. It's not the future. So that's one indicator to sit there and say, are we ranking for the wrong things, or why do we have weird crossover, right? So it's something to look at, but this is the reality. If you don't have any SEO and you go into your GBP, it's going to be all over the board. You're going to have all kinds of weird things. You might even have like the restaurants that are close to your business, or the retailers, or other related services. So you can't really 100% depend on that data.
Jordan?
I mean, I would say it's pretty decently accurate. It kind of depends on kind of the service, but it's a good way to kind of retrain Google a little bit about what you do, because we've talked about this quite a bit before. Even in our private groups, a lot of times you see like a businesses, 1 minute they're doing exteriors and they're only doing siding, and then they want to jump in, they're doing roofing, for example. So it's a good idea to kind of see what people may be searching for, and sometimes magically your listing shows up for certain queries. So Search Console also does a pretty good job as well. So I would take what you have, information you have in your insights, and try to match that with what's actually showing up in Search Console.
Yeah, I feel like if there's some things that make sense and they're like lower on the list that she was showing us, I mean, and you're like, and that's supposed to be you, then that's when okay, you need to focus on maybe creating content on that, just because you're not being found because you're lower down that list and you're getting a few searches. I guess it's a good indicator, but again, don't.
The other thing too is it's the local users in that area, so you might also learn unique semantics, or even how that particular people are using phrases related to you. Because again, you might say, well, I want to rank for accountant, a city accountant, #1 best accountant, but people don't search that. What do they search? They search tax advisor or tax services, CPA type stuff. So that's the thing you really have to think about, and that's why there's experts like us who go in there and can pull out what's really important.
Yep.
I saw you typing, Jordan. Were you looking something up?
Yeah, I was trying to pull something up, but I'll probably save it to a little bit later on.
All
But
right.
also, too, I think one thing that's really missed, actually, what I was going to say is a lot of times that even in your Google Business Insights and in Search Console, you'll see there's actually quite a bit of people that will search something and misspell.
Oh yeah.
Even using like misspellings in your content can also be very beneficial as well.
Stop it! Stop! Would you stop telling people the
Just
good
put that in
stuff?
your hidden
Stop
div
it.
text, right?
Yeah, you can use it in hidden div if you want, if you don't want it to show up. But I mean, if you misspell something, it's not a big deal because people misspell searches all the time.
There you go. That's actually a tip for people using tags on YouTube. You guys want to
Yeah.
misspellings on tags on YouTube. All right, guys. Let's go into reaction video.
Number two. Number two,
num-
my
Oh
lord.
yeah, we're number 2 only. If I can find it.
Give it to me.
I'll give
Who
it to
does
you.
number 2 work for?
Give it to me, baby.
Next, you want to open up the same competitor's website and start checking out their accreditations. Now, a lot of companies will have a section on their homepage or footer where you'll see various logos sliding across, showing off all the accreditations they've got. This is exactly where you want to look, because these accreditations act as major trust signals, not just for customers, but for Google too. You can see this company is accredited by the Guild of Master Craftsmen. Now, what you need to do is go and check whether this is a valuable site to get listed on and whether it's worth applying for the accreditation. Open up Google, search for the Guild of Master Craftsmen, and then add Element Roofing Company to that search. Doing it this way through Google is far easier than trying to search within their site manually. Now, once you do that, Google will pull up their company profile directly on the Guild's website. Now you can see they've got a full listing. They've got an average rating and just 1 review. They've got their business phone number on the listing, and more importantly, they've got their website linked. That's a strong backlink right there, and it's exactly what you want to do. Now, the move is simple. Every single accreditation you see on your competitor's website, you want to look it up. You want to see if it provides a backlink.
Excellent advice. Excellent. Of course, because why? You get those extra accreditations and citations, which we now see a lot more in the AI overview with Gemini and ChatGPT, because they're really looking for those extra true trusted high authority that not everyone has. Not everyone's in that guild. Not everyone is a part of that tree association or is a certain certified accountant. That special level. Those things definitely help you.
Yeah, I actually saw recently, I'm in the real estate niche as well, and I've actually seen quite a few sites in regulatory niches, especially in plumbing, because plumbing, HVAC, electrical, those are ones that are highly regulated. So any major like plumbing job, electrical job that you have to do, you at least in California, you always have to get a permit. So there are a couple of sites I've seen here in California where they actually put like permits of jobs that they did, and here's the permit number. It kind of just makes things more legit by you following the rules and laws. You don't necessarily have to put a logo in there of those regulation sites, but at least have it in your content. Hey, like you can check out that we are licensed here. I mean, that's something that's really big, especially when you get into areas like Texas, California, New Jersey, New York, where regulations for, especially for general contractors, are very strict. So you definitely want to at least mention those. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a logo, but it'd be a good idea to kind of cite, where you're found on those types of sites, and also showing that you do have a license as well.
Cool. There you go. Realtors should definitely
All
always
about
have
trust, baby.
their realtor badge on their websites. Just make sure they have it and all their realtor numbers. All right, let's go to our next segment before we go to our last reaction video towards the end of the show.
Let's roast it.
Yes.
Roasty, baby.
Oh.
Just want to warn you,
Are you?
if you have a weak heart, or a what's the other word? Some type of a disposition. They always say in the classics.
For what?
You might want to turn away, turn off. You might want to shield children because shit's gonna get real here. Let me jump over into
Bookkeeping.
my screen. Yeah, bookkeeping. Oh
looks
man,
good.
this
Find my-
looks great,
Yeah,
right?
it does.
I mean, it's new age. It's a new wave. I'm really surprised we don't have music somewhere on the background. Clearly, we can see We assume who's doing it, right?
Yeah.
That young lady. We've got a little bit of graphics. It definitely sets the tone. One challenge is like this pink thing off to the side here. Do you guys even see this? This for small business that gets buried. You got to be aware of that.
Oh yeah, that's tiny.
Then you got my approach. Okay, these are all the things she does. You know, it's whoa, giant headlines, fun facts. This okay, it's very cute, right? Oh, it's all virtual. So there's some good things here, some good things from a CRO point of view, but OMG GMO, as my daughter has said, if we go look at the technical, you're like, what in the actual fuck? Look at the H1s here. Oh my god.
You know, is this a what? Do you think she used a website, like a web developer, like one of those web?
I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting site to roast.
Yeah, because I mean,
1.21 gigawatts, right? That's what I feel like in this situation. You know, you're like, is this really like this? Yes. Why? Because what she did was she just ran this across the screen, and she's using some of their context to get the separation. Google is going to look in crystals, right? Like you can't have this in your H2. Okay.
So she's using actually Squarespace. So this might be like something like with the editor itself, right?
Yeah. This is a situation where you have clearly someone who is of a new age mind, creatively went in and made 11 H1s on their page. And Google's not going to reward you for that at all. You know, a much better setup. Oh gosh, that's so refreshing. Okay, you guys can all come back now. You'll have the signal. This is what the feel should be of accounting, tax, payroll. You're talking to a small business owner. The easy to do business with, the consultation. Oh, look at the entities. CPA, accountant, tax services, payroll. There's actual people in the images. When you use the right words on the headlines, it does impact rankings because then Google connects and they say, oh, I'm looking for a QuickBooks certified advisor. There you go. It's right set in that headline. So be really crystal clear and aware on the design portion for sure. Jordan, did you want to jump into something specific or go into looking at maps?
I mean, as far as maps go, I mean, they're really nowhere to be seen. Now it's kind of one of those things that's important too. Let me see if I can pull up.
I actually like that site better than the other one. That one looked like it cost too much for the other one. If I was a small business, I'd hire the girl.
But that's the key though. If you're not even found, then you're not even there. Now, if you're a small town in a more rural market, people are working out of their home and you might be found in your neighborhood for bookkeepers or accountant near me. Yeah. And yes, it can work, but the primary thing is you wouldn't really pay for ads to go there. You really can't compete on the maps or true SEO. So that's sort of the bottom line. Yeah, that design, like I said, the design is there, but there's the technical issues, but those are so easily fixed.
Yeah, and Los Angeles is a pretty competitive market. However, most B2B type of service, in this case bookkeeping service, it's not a super competitive. I wouldn't even go as far as there's probably not a ton of people that are necessarily searching for bookkeeping in Los Angeles. The reason why I wanted to show this example is because B2B is completely different ballgame than B2C. A lot of categories and niches, B2B with SEO may not even need it as much. Even us as SEO agencies, there's always this battle of should we do SEO for our own sites because the leads that we get are complete junk, or I don't get any calls even though I'm number one in Los Angeles, or it's not the type of client that I want to work with. So there's always kind of that gray area. I worked with a lot of types of businesses throughout the last 16 years, even quite a few B2B. And bookkeeping and accounting is probably kind of one of those gray ones where SEO can be very beneficial, but also it could be kind of a time suck and you probably don't need it because you're not getting nearly as many leads into other types of marketing that you could be using. So I think one thing that's important too, any type of business to business type of service, is you really need to focus on sales and you need to have a really good salesperson. I'm a firm believer in that. Keith comes from a sales background. That's kind of what he started his career in SEO and getting into web design.
Right? That master of bullshit.
Master bullshitter.
That is a qualification to order even be in the SEO industry. Duh.
Correct. So bookkeeping is probably kind of one of those grays where I don't know. I've done bookkeeping service in this niche, and it was pretty low, 0 calls. And I'm going to show you an example here in just a second. But even this business, I mean, she's not really showing up hardly at all.
Look, she only has like 3 reviews on hers. I don't know if you look at her profile. Like the reviews are not filled out at all.
Yeah, it's just hardly even showing. This is kind of, that's probably some spam crap.
And so many referrals are definitely going to come in this particular niche, right? It's the who's handling your books. Does anyone know a good bookkeeper, right? Good tax accountant. And that's the kind of sharing. And those are actually certainly more powerful. Yes, you need to at least have the main things done and qualified, but even a 1-page site or just a basic 5-page site, it can work. But you remember, you have to appeal to what is the general, the feeling that people get at your page, right? Are they going to want to move forward or are they going to be frustrated?
Yeah.
I got a quick question. Something I was looking at her Google business profile, right? I'm curious about this, just looking at it, because she says she's doing Los Angeles and nearby areas, but look at the phone number. The area code is 510. Is that something that someone should be paying attention to when the area code is not matching to the actual city?
In the old days, I would say yes, that makes a difference, because if you were outside the area code, you would still have to dial a 1 even before the area code. But now it doesn't really matter. Same thing with like a toll-free number, but in this case, yeah, if you asked me that 10 years ago, I would say absolutely, but now it probably doesn't matter.
And I think that you also need to think about too, which is more of a rural conservative type mentality versus more liberal and urban, where you might have a variety of people, a variety of cultures with a variety of phone numbers. And we have people that are moving, right? And they don't think so much about the phone number. 406 has always been the Montana phone number. 208 is the area code for Idaho. You don't have that, then people are going to be like, maybe possibly question. But again, your message, all these little minor things has to match who that user is geographically.
Yeah. So I actually created a campaign. So this is actually my listing right here. It says Los Angeles Bookkeepers.
Nice.
And wait, that's a campaign as in you're paying for it? Or
no, like this is actually a business that I started like a couple of months ago. The volume has been pretty low. It was just a simple kind of basic website. At least I had a lot of the information, all the layout and everything. Kind of everything that we kind of teach, as far as the layout goes. The thing that I thought was kind of interesting, I even checked the insights. I mean, there's a couple of times like Bookkeepers spelled wrong. Bookkeeping.
see, there you go.
Keeper of the booze.
There were searches, but there just wasn't a ton of volume that even came in. I think maybe I got 1 call. So this is kind of a good example. I wanted to show everybody B2B that sometimes SEO just isn't necessarily the right marketing avenue to go through. that utilizing other things like ads, utilizing kind of more old school style where maybe you have someone on the ground who's literally door knocking to get clients. Because for a bookkeeper in accounting, most of the time you're making your money off of having residual clientele that are paying monthly fee to manage their books, right? So in that type of scenario for any type of B2B and for this type of business, I would probably more recommend like hiring a salesperson who can literally just call businesses and say, hey, we offer bookkeeping service in LA, throughout California, whatever it is. SEO may not be something that you may need or even necessarily want to spend a lot of money on, even though SEO agencies are going to have to, you need SEO, you have to show up. Like this is kind of an example where I probably wouldn't even necessarily focus on SEO too much.
Have the basics, but you need to basically, kind of, when someone's frustrated, right? They're frustrated with their books or they're questioning, then they might go search. But the other reality is most folks can also just be purely lazy, right? I'm 70% happy. I don't know. And that is a challenge. If you don't really know that maybe you could have a greater tax savings, that's the kind of ads that you could be promoting, right?
Yeah.
So if you are a CPA or you're an accountant, you want to share your testimonials and your results and your success, because then that might capture someone. And the challenge again is, and I'll get to it in my presentation on pop-ups and collecting data, you get people's attention, but then they may not buy to a later date. So that's just one of those, all right, maybe every 3 months I'll run a meta campaign or I'll be aggressive, a certain time of the month, but then drop it down and then try to nurture those leads at a later date.
There you go. All right, pop-ups, not pop cups. Is that what you said?
La 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 la.
Yeah, you know Lambo.
Lambo's world.
Lambo's
La
world.
la la la. La 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 la. Lambo's world. Lambo likes conversions and SEO too. That's Lambo's world.
I'm still so excited about
aviators.
Can't get over that, all
Top Gun.
these posts and all this information about I can't believe I'm going to be engaged the same time as Taylor. Oh, right. So we're going to get over that. My buddy Daniel, God bless you. Today on Lambo's World, exit pop-ups. Haven't really ever gotten into this, but it's something that we need to really kind of carefully pay attention to. And you've seen it. You've seen this a lot when it comes to e-com, right? But for the maps and people that are in the service world, why would you want something like this, right? Before you go, right, that you think that they're going to exit your website, so you want to have some message in front of them. They are really powerful tools for getting those extra conversions. And the key, though, write this down, kids, is going to be the timing and the actual purpose, right? Because if someone is on the page for a set amount of time, right, are you going to then maybe throw something in front of them? Or is there a certain sequence, right? Like after they click an ad, and then if they scroll down so far, you might have an indicator to throw a pop-up. Let's take a closer look and see, like why? What are some of the reasonings that a small business on the service side would really seriously consider a pop-up? Definitely leads, right? We've talked about this, talked about CRMs. You want to have that valuable asset, just like an ebook or maybe a case study, any kind of an exchange for an email. Remember, when you ask for something for someone, you want to give them something in exchange. So you've probably seen this too, the little spin to win, right? They do work because it's engaging, you're keeping them on the site, and it's more interactive. And again, you're selling pizzazz, right? You're selling feelings for sure. You want to have announcements, highlight anything new, any kind of awards or any limited time type specials. Think about any kind of exclusivities. The feedback, right? People love to give opinions. And so if you can ask for any kind of information on the site experience, that can definitely help you. You also could even help guide the visitor. And this would be something where you know that the sooner they get over to, like, from the blog over to the service page or to the cost page, they're more likely to convert. Or maybe you have a special finance opportunity. Get them there sooner. And so the pop-up can really be a easy guide, right? Not annoying. It can be really small, like on a phone, or it can just be real slow and simple. Because remember, people are being bombarded, and on a small screen, there's only so much they can see. So they'll scroll, but if you make it gentle and easy, then you're going to move them toward that conversion. So the before you go is the one that I really kind of like to mess around with the most. And that's because you're paying for a lot of clicks from Facebook and Instagram and even off of Google Ads. But you want them to do something, and it's so frustrating. They come to the site and then they're like, they bounce, right? So you're like, no, don't go yet. I have something. So that's where you have to really take it to, and these can be stupid, but like, hey, if you book now or if you call now, we'll give you steak knives. We'll give you a gas card, an Amazon gift certificate, free coffee, anything. And it is crazy, I know, but something that says free and it's flashing in their face, humans, they can't resist. Hey, how about a free pen? Oh, really? Yes, I'll take it. They will. It's crazy. You can do a little craziness here. I should skip past this quickly. You could redirect them. You could get some information from them, and then after they complete or submit, maybe send them over to some other page, or maybe send them to your GBP or something that we won't talk about, maybe on a consultation with Jordan or Keith. Anyways, surveys. We talked about this before. People love sharing their opinion. So just flat out ask them, hey, why are you leaving? Right? Like, what did I do wrong? So just directly ask them. And then build your email list. That's another great thing too. We've talked about the 3 main questions: get their name, get their email, and get their zip code. That's key information that these miners can go in and try to decide, hey, we think we know what their income is, we know where they live, we know what their job title is, and we know what their shopping habits are, and it allows you to, of course, go deeper. Make an irresistible offer on that pop-up. Don't just throw some shit out there. It has to match with the intent, right? And then maybe even consider like some sort of significant discount, right? Like, hey, we'll give you a free ticket to Taylor's wedding if you click now. Okay, so you can try that too if you want.
We got a question from the audience on, is there a script that you can share for exit pop-ups?
It's a tougher one because most people think free estimate, right? Free consultation. I'm a service business, plumbing, we talk about it all the time. What can the HVAC guy do that's more? I briefly mentioned it, which is very irresistible, and it has to be really simple. Like if you do this, you get this in return. It's really as simple as that. What I would probably do, let's say the free estimate, take it a step further by maybe again, hey, book today, I'll give you $10 as a coffee card. That's all it takes for someone just to take 3 minutes and book an appointment.
All right. We have another question coming up that's related. What email service for small businesses do you recommend?
I'm assuming like a Mailchimp or something, I think is what they're talking about, possibly down a newsletter. that does work. I don't really have good answers. I don't really do email marketing as such. Actually, Jordan might have slight. I know he's messed around with some systems.
Yeah, there's a couple that I use. One, if you want to integrate one with your Gmail or Workspace email, there's actually one I've been using called GMass. You can go to gmass.co. For kind of more formal email marketing, it kind of depends on what type of business, but you can use ones like SendGrid, which is owned by Twilio. Another one is Mailchimp. I mean, that one works fine too.
You said GMass? How do you spell that? Because I looked it up.
GMass, GMass.co.
Oh, GMass. I thought it was GMass.
Yeah.
GMass.
Yeah.
GMass.
So it's pretty easy. All you have to do is just upload Google Sheet contacts. You just have one column that says, I can show you guys today too, if you guys want. But basically you just load the columns and, name, and then you can build out a template via the email with different fields that you have from your sheets. So it's pretty effective. You definitely, email marketing is a whole art in itself. You definitely want to just be able to at least warm it up a little bit first, especially if you're doing some type of outbound that's a little bit more cold. But if you have more inbound and they opted in based on whatever service that you're using, it makes the outgoing a lot easier. But warming up is definitely an art, because a lot of times if you're kind of integrating different CRMs, you're probably switching email marketing providers. There's always kind of an integration period that you have to warm up your emails. And I'm talking like send 30 to 50 at a time, and then that way it kind of warms up your domain, because you can get your domain flagged pretty easily if you're not careful.
You don't want to be blacklisted. You don't want your domain to just be constantly go right into spam. And what you want to do is you actually want to get a secondary domain that's just for the purpose of blasting off.
Yeah.
Any other questions for the Kelsey Taylor deal? So that's the only other questions we're doing.
What about back button? Can I disable my back button?
Back button?
Oh wait, you can't do that anymore.
No, you can't.
Yeah, we're going to buy some GMBs right now. How we do it?
Well, I'm taking a little bit different approach today. So I think before we were kind of, I'm sharing something that's going to be more kind of beneficial for the business owner, because because picking an agency can be really tough, especially if you're getting into bookkeeping. Because I've done this type of thing before in the past, I still do it as a business model. When I first started in SEO, I was really heavy into lead generation, so I was selling basically per call. Eventually I got into doing a RevShare model. So basically I'm taking a percentage from the business for every job that I send over. There are some types of businesses that you can't do this with. You can't do this with lawyers. You can't do it with real estate. Most like financial insurance type of companies you can't do unless you're licensed in the field. So if you have a mortgage license and you want to do something like this, this is an opportunity for you. But I wanted to show you this because for businesses, hiring the right agency can be really tough. And a lot of times they're requiring you to pay quite a bit of money up front. They have some type of setup fee. They lock you into a contract, usually a year. And especially kind of the old school ways of like Yellow Pages, decks, and things like that, they would always lock you into a year if you're getting into the Yellow Pages. And then when they got into doing websites and doing SEO, online marketing, they still lock you into a one-year contract. So that can be scary for a small business, especially if you're starting fresh and new. This is something that I would actually recommend a lot of agencies providing, because it puts some skin in the game and it kind of puts your actions, your words into actions. And that's something that we do with RevShare. So I'm going to give you kind of an example. This is an actual agreement that I use. It's the template that I use. I teach this in a new course that I have. But let's say, for example, I'm going to choose locksmith because I have experience in that. The average job, let's say for a locksmith, is probably around $200. And the average parts for a job for that is probably around $10 to $20. So I'm going to give this an example of, let's say we're doing 50 jobs a week at $200.
Ooh, we're doing bookkeeping.
That's 10 grand a week. Okay. Of those 50 jobs, let's just say the parts are $10. So it's $500 in parts. Okay. So that's how much those costs are. Let's say I am a marketer and I want to say, hey, I'm going to come in, and instead of you, business owner, having to pay anything up front, I'm going to handle all the marketing for you. I'm going to build websites for you. I'm going to do all the marketing, the ads, rank your Google business, maybe have a couple of my own sites that I'm doing SEO for. The only thing that I ask for in return is that for every closed job, I want you to give me 15%. Okay? Seems pretty fair.
Seems fair. I mean, that's an average type commission. I mean, that's what someone would probably charge even off of AdWords management or
that's
Instagram.
cool.
So let's say of that, so that's $10,000. Your parts were only $500. That means for every single week, if you're doing 50 jobs a week, you would have to pay your marketing company $1,425, and you're still keeping $8,000.
And that's paid for performance too, right? It's
pay per performance too. So that's a closed job. So it's not a lead. It's not a call that comes in. It's for every job that's being closed.
Yep.
You're not having to pay. You didn't have to pay any for the marketing up front. The only thing you had to do is just take a small percentage portion of what you made that week and pay your marketing agency.
So how do you keep it honest between the company? Yeah, how would they know like that they're keeping it honest? Are you recording these?
So there's different scenarios of how you can work that. The way that I look at it is the more work the agency is doing, the higher the percentage. And so when I mean the more work from the time they get the lead that comes in to how it's being sent over to the business owner. This could be as simple as you're doing a lead form, you're sending recorded calls to the business owner, they're doing everything. Everything is tracked. It's part of the contract agreement. I have a whole template that I put in here that kind of talks about kind of RevShare, what's happening. Now, the tricky part is like most businesses are gonna be like, whoa, that means I got to open up my books to you. It's like, yes and no. So there's a couple of things that you can do as a business owner. If hopefully you're using some type of CRM, job dispatch. There's quite a few different ones. There's a company called workeasy.com. There's Service Titan. What's the other one? Jobber. So you just have to give your marketing agency, hey, I'm going to give you access to our dispatch software. You're going to know that the calls that came in, this is the phone number that they called from. You're going to know everything. So there's no reason why you can't give access to your marketing agency, at least your job software, just as a viewer. They're not going to go in there and edit any information. They're not going to be able to try to change information to make it in their favor. There is protection on both sides. So there are ways of doing it. If you're a marketing agency, I did this quite a bit in the locksmith industry and even garage doors, a couple other industries where we would answer the calls as well. So the calls would come into our call center. We would dispatch those calls, and we would even take a higher percentage because we did that much work.
Yeah.
So we took let's say 40%. Well, then that changes quite a bit. But at the end of the day, I'm doing a lot of the work. You're not having to handle the customer service. Literally, your only job is you're receiving a text message of job details for a customer and going out and doing that job. Obviously, you take your parts off, whatever labor, etc.
Right.
But that just means, I'm taking 40% now because I'm doing more work.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah. It's something I want to look into myself. I mean, this is something you just started doing, right? I mean,
I've been doing this for a long time,
Okay.
but this is kind of more of a model agent that we do. I have two different models now. We do a lot of ads management now, so we will manage it for around $1,800 a month if we're going to manage the ads, and then we do have some different options where we offer a RevShare model, where it's like, hey, you don't have to pay anything up front. It just means, it's a risk though. They're going to say, well, what happens if you give me 100 jobs and I close 80 of them? Well, that could happen. or I could charge you $2,500 and you get no jobs.
Yep. Yeah.
One of the big things is the risk for the small business owner, because he could sit there and say, well, if you give me a lead, of course I'll pay you for it, right? So, and if they don't want to play ball, then they're not in the right mindset, right?
Yep.
So, and if you
And
can
this pulls away too from the general like lead generation model. I've done both because a lot of times there's a company called Service Magic. They're an old company. They've recently changed to HomeAdvisor, and then they got bought out by Angie. So they've had multiple types of brands. But a lot of times those lead generation companies, they'll send the lead out to 10 contractors. Right? So you're getting charged, and by the time you call the customer, you're getting charged $20 for the lead. A lot of times they're junk leads, they're just that haven't really been pre-qualified or anything like that. So I think doing a model like this can be beneficial if you don't necessarily have the funds, you've been screwed before, but you still need marketing. Maybe this is something that you want to consider. There's risk involved, but it just makes a difference on, how involved do you want your agency to be involved? If it's saying, you're probably not going to get 40% for a general contractor or a home remodeler. You have to come to a conclusion that makes sense. For something like roofing, you're probably not going to get any more than 5 to 10% as an agency. You're just not, because roofing jobs are huge jobs. These could be $200,000 jobs, and even at 10%, your parts are probably going to be, let's say 20,000. That's probably on the lower range. But even at 10%, you're still paying out 18 grand. You're profiting 162. Plus, you got to pay for labor and things like that.
Cool.
So,
all right.
Just something to consider.
No, and it's reasonable. Pay for performance.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. We are coming close to time here. Let's check out our last reaction video for you guys to end off with.
And this is why I tell people don't fucking blog so much if you're trying to rank in Google Maps, is because there's this thing called site focus or site topic. Google assigns a site topic to your entire website. It's a topicality score. The issue with this is what happens is when you blog so much, you stop being a local business. Google stops seeing you as a company who is trying to provide services to the Boston area or whatever, and starts seeing you as an informational website. So you stop ranking for local queries and you start getting promoted for informational queries. And that was actually confirmed. This is something that we had suspected for a long time. It was confirmed in Google Leaks here. This is, if you want to look it up, it's called Site Focus Score.
I don't know about the site focus score, but this is the reality. Yes, you need to stay on topic. If you are a contractor, you need to have what are the things that person wants to know about, right? That's it. Mm-hmm. There was a local DJ out of Austin, Texas. He got way off track with just all kinds of crap articles. Ranking went down. And it's not like, it'll drop in 10 days. It'll drop in 3 to 5 months, because Google will constantly say, hey, we thought you were a music DJ for weddings and bar mitzvahs and quinceaneras. No, you have all this unrelated information, and everything, it just went down the pot.
Jordan, anything?
Yeah, I think I remember I came into a conference probably about, it's probably been 7 years or 6 years ago. And one of the speakers was actually talking about, doing blogging for local clients, and I stood up in front of the whole room and I was like, why do you guys blog? Like, what's the point of this?
And I was there, and I'm looking around.
The whole room just dropped and went quiet, and they're like, what are you talking about? I said, this is such a fucking waste of time.
Yeah. No one had a good answer. No one. They're I don't know. You know why? Well, the content marketers, they say to do it. I'm telling you, there are books written out there, and content marketing is just really going to shit right now. Why? Because of AI. You need to be totally unique and different. Just give the information people need. That's it. Don't get off topic.
They need a roofer. They don't need to know the fucking style and how you came to some conclusion and you found the perfect recipe for making the perfect clay tile. They don't give a fuck. They just want you to fix their roof.
I mean, if you do, at least create a video of it, right? I think video is more entertaining, at least.
You can make a video, yeah. I mean, you can put it into one of your ads, but I mean, you don't need to put it on content. I think people are more keen to watching a video than reading some story that you had, that you're a third generation clay tile maker, and like it just doesn't matter.
All right, we are at time, guys. Is there any announcements you want to put out there to the world?
No, I think we're kind of cranking and rolling. I think the biggest thing for us, if you guys have ideas out there, leave them in the comments. If there's things that you guys are struggling with, we have a new type form. Make sure you go there. And yeah, just keep.
Don't forget, Tay Tay, send your wedding ticket to Lambo at bestseo.com. And me, Dre, I need 3 tickets for my boys, and we'll be there.
Be sure to do a like, comments,
subscribe.
Last question, guys. That's the big thing, right? Like,
in the comments,
questions, we want to follow up. We always address every question, and we'll even go deeper with additional videos and personal, reach out. So I mean, this is what we do. Take care.
Hey, GBP Roast, GBP Roast. Sorry, you in danger. Right now, I gotta flame you. This is GBP Roast, GBP Roast. On your Google business profile, it's about to go down. We roasting and reacting. We ain't come to play. 20 years in SEO. JP, Lambo, and Dre, bringing facts and guests. Oh yeah, we bring the dopeness. Welcome to the show. Hope your profile don't get roasted.
All right, guys. I will see you guys later. I have to head to my appointment. Getting blood work done too. All right. Bye.
Thanks, Trey. Good stuff. Awesome. Bye, everybody.